Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel and my current obsession, The Doomed by Osprey Games. It's a fairly new game and I really wasn't planning on really getting into any new games for the rest of the year. I've got loads and loads and loads of stuff to be working on, but I made the mistake of watching battle reports and the creations that people have come up with and I had to be involved in this. It's just kit-bashing wonderland for me. So quickly, what is The Doomed? The Doomed's a game by Osprey Games. It's very rules light, it's fast paced, it's quick. There's not much in the way of stats or record keeping or tokens all over the place. It's very, very fast. And essentially what you're doing is you're hunting horrors, monsters in an apocalyptic, grim, dark future. But you also fight against opposing warbands as well as fighting against the horrors. There's a great campaign system in there. So your fighters from the warbands and hunting parties can get new skills, new weapons, equipment, etc. And it's just a really interesting game. It can be played solo as well, which is primarily what I'm planning to do with it. Now, when I first heard about this, people were mentioning the sheer amount of kit bashing, and it's true. And the author, Chris McDowall, he actually encourages kit bashing. It's miniature agnostic. There's no figures for it. It's all down to the player himself to come up with these warbands. There's a number of factions in the game and they have a bit of a background, what they look like, what they do, but apart from that you're just free to really create what you want, and that's what I've been doing. So what I thought I'd do, very quick video just to show you just what I've been up to as far as The Doomed goes. It's a very different type of game, and as soon as I saw the battle reports and the creations that people were making on other videos and on the Doomed Facebook group, yeah, I was all in for this. So let's have a look what I've been up to. I've made sort of two bands that I've put together and are fully painted, and there's going to be a bit of grey plastic at the end of the video. I don't know, like showing unpainted stuff, but hopefully with the kit bash it shows you exactly what I've done to put these together. Okay, so let's start off with this chap here. This was the first one that I actually built. And he's made from all kinds of bits and pieces. So this is going to be an inheritor courts faction. He's going to be a judge or a sheriff or something, but he's made up of lots of different bits and pieces. So the core is a 30k Space Marine, so Horus Heresy Marine by Games Workshop. I've added the arms of Games Workshop Beastmen arms. The shield is from Warlord Games plastic skeleton kit. The head is actually from the War Games Atlantic Halfling box. I had a scroll on there as well, and an old Games Workshop one. But this was the first one that I finished and painted, and it's really set the tone or the aesthetic for what I'm going for with these chaps. Really grim, muted colours, limited palette on this. I think there's only about 4 or 5 different paints that were used to paint this. But that was the first one. I thought, I like this. I really do like this. So after him, who's next? This chap. So he's going to be a basic, what's called a legionary. But again, it's that sort of. The best way to describe it is sort of futuristic medieval. That makes no sense whatsoever, but there's a feudal aspect to it. Lots of medieval looking helmets. And again, this is from the head is from the War Games Atlantic Halfling box. The arms are from a Stargrave kit, and the body is from I think it's a Frostgrave cultist box. But these have been immense fun to put together because you're not with the background and the lore. You're not really constrained by anything. It's just what your imagination can come up with. So I've been sticking all kinds of things together to see if they work or not. But that's the second one. That's the legionary. So he's done. The next two, yeah, this is this is going to be a zealot. Now this is one I actually made this many years ago. I was heavily involved in sort of grim dark kit bashing about a decade ago, and I made a bunch of figures and just put them in a bits box, never looked at them again, and this was one of them. I think he's based around the Flagellants by Games Workshop for the old Warhammer Fantasy Battle, and then just bits and pieces to make an over the top looking chainsaw. Yeah, again, no real idea where this came from. I just decided to stick things together, but I really like the way it came out. and he fits into the aesthetic of the Doomed really quite well. So he's going to be a zealot in the warband. Yeah, well-oiled chainsaw there. And the last one again was a fairly old Kitbash that I worked on. I repurposed. He's a herald. It's like a standard bearer. The standard bearer provides a number of different additional rules when you play him. So again, this was a grimdark Kitbash that I made about 10 years ago, but I've replaced both of the arms. They were taken off. So this arm is from a Perry's Miniatures. I think it's the 100 Years War or Wars of the Roses Mercenaries box. And then the head, I honestly don't know where that head's from. The legs are Empire, so Games Workshop Empire. The actual top, the tunic type thing, is actually a Skaven, a Skaven body from a really old kit. And then I like the idea of scrolls, so I put a scroll on his chest. And the bionic arm there is a Stargrave kit. And the top of the standard is actually from an old Games Workshop Demon Prince that I made years ago, and I've still got loads of bits and pieces knocking around. But I just like the idea of having this standard. Again, no, I think the head might be the Flagellant box again, or the old Empire. I'm really not sure. If you know, if you can tell me, please let me know in the comments, because I haven't got a clue. And again, equipment there from the Stargrave box. So that was the first one. So I really got thinking about, you know, what else I wanted to do. And I remembered that a couple of years back I did a bit of converting kitbashing for Zona Alpha. Never really got round to playing it, but I still had the kitbashes. They were still grey back then, they weren't painted. So I painted these up now. I think I have not quite decided what faction these chaps are going to fit into. But they're a bit odd, which I think is really good. Essentially they're built from bits and pieces from the old Games Workshop Cadian Imperial Guard box, and from the plastic Adeptus Mechanicus box, and they fit together really pretty well. The head, I had to remove the original head, was sort of a basic human head that didn't really fit him, so that's from the Stargrave Troopers box. I really like it's got an evil kind of look to it. And I love these oversized rifles, really do fit into the aesthetic. So that was the first one. Second one is this chap here. See, these are a lot of sort of bionics, as you can tell by their metal hands and metal faces and metal everywhere basically. But there we go. So again, all these bits and pieces, so Cadian and Adeptus Mechanicus, but I think the equipment I've thrown in there is from a couple of the Stargrave boxes. And this chap here, he's very bionic. But again, they just went together really well. I wasn't overly keen on the blue to start off with, the blue of the uniform. But once I applied quite a really heavy wash to it, and it did bring it right down. And I do like the way it's come out. It contrasts well against the sort of reddy brown of the armour and the gaiters and the boots. So it was the fourth one. Oh, sorry, the third one, and the last one. Again, oversized rifle. Look at that. That's what you want. And again, the Adeptus Mechanicus bits and pieces, they work really well for the Doomed. Bionic, lots of mechanical stuff, and the heads are fantastic. I'll have to pick up another box of Adeptus Mechanicus because I think the heads are brilliant. Got that very grim, dark look about them. So I'm gonna make some more of these up, because I have to pick up a couple more boxes, because I think I'm all out of Adeptus Mechanicus stuff, and Cadian possibly. So it might be a trip to the shops on the horizon. So they're the 8 that I've painted so far. I did promise some grey plastic, but hopefully this will show you what they're like before they're painted. So these are, I don't know what I was thinking with these. These are based on they're called The Plague by Mantic Games. They're for a game called Dead Zone, if I can remember correctly. I got it years ago, and the bits and pieces have been knocking around in various bits boxes for a while. I thought it's a shame because they're really nice models. Let's repurpose them. So what I did, I went to another bits box and I found me some old, I think they're Grey Knight power claws And I added bits of plastic card. I like these to be sort of rivets or, you know, patched up repairs. Still need to work on the milliput. I use milliput as a filler, so it's still very early working project, this piece. But I think the arms work really well with this, and he looks suitably evil. Yeah. And his compadre is this chap here again. Another one of the plague from Mantic. Grey Knight arms. The shield again, it's one of the plastic shields from that Warlord Games skeleton box. Children of the Hydra's Teeth. And that's a Grey Knight power sword. But I just think I like with the sort of the armour they've got and the carapace. It works really well with the Grey Knight arms. Not much in the way of filling. I just think he's got a really unique look to him. So they're going to be part of a warband. Don't know which though. I really don't know which. I'm going to be working on those very soon, and some other bits and pieces. So I've been testing whether or not sort of Necromunda bits and pieces will work with the Doomed, and you know what, they do. So there's another grey one that I've put together yesterday. So this is bits and pieces from. It's the core door box. It's the body. The guns are from the Delac box. And the head is from the Gene Stealer Hybrid Neophyte box. Again, all Games Workshop stuff, so it all goes together really well. I just like the idea of him packing two identical guns. Many years ago, I used to read the comic books Grifter, and he used to wield dual pistols. So it's always that's a look I've always liked in my figures. But he's going to be the leader of some kind of. I think there's a faction called the Warped, sort of mutated. I think this is what I'm going for with this guy. I really like this one. This is a lot of pieces. So what do we have here? So the lower body is from the Delac kit, the long greatcoat. The upper torso is from the Gene Stealer box. The head is from the Delac box, and the arms are from the Ash Waste Nomads box for Necromunda. And they just all seem to go together really well. Actually getting the upper torso to connect to I thought it was going to be a bit of a struggle, but it went together really well. Bit of milliput and some super glue. Job's a good one. Can't wait to paint this up. And the last one was this. So this is the head and the body are from the Ash Waste Nomad box for Necromunda, and the gun, the big massive shooter there, is from the Gene Stealer hybrid box. Bit of work needed to reposition the arms slightly, as you can see by the copious amounts of modelling putty there. But again, works really well, and I took the bit off the top of the head. I just like the sort of the cloth draped over the mask. I thought that worked really well. But again, I didn't have any real ideas with these. I just sat down and, you know, plastic, some glue, some milliput, and a file and a craft knife, and just saw what happened. It's been a productive weekend. So there we go. I did some other ones as well. Where are they? These two here. So again, these are going to be painted up for the Inheritor Courts. It's a Perry's miniature as the body. Two arms from one of the Stargrave boxes. I've got no idea where this hand flail type thing came from. I just found it in my budget box and I thought, that looks really good. And then the hooded sort of head there is from the Frostgrave Cultist box, and they all went together really well. A bit of random equipment there. I like this. It reminds me of the original. Remember the film The Amiga Man with Charlton Heston, Methuselah and his chaps all had sort of hoods on like that. I think that works really well. And the last one is a very simple one actually, but it's just such a great character piece. It's a Landsknecht body by Warlord Games, Landsknecht head from the command sprue, and some arms. So the auto rifle is from one of the Stargrave boxes. And it's been great fun. I've been working on this for about a fortnight now. Yeah, actually no, less than that, and I've already put these together and painted 8 of them up as well. So what I'm going to do is, hopefully this will be a regular series of my updates into the Doomed, as I create all kinds of oddness and weirdness for this game, because it's going to be really good. Really small amount of figures, great mechanics, played in a small area, fast paced. What more could you want? Well, I hope you found that video interesting. If you've got any comments or questions about this or gaming or kit bashing in general, just leave them down below and I'll certainly respond to all comments and questions. But as always, thanks for watching. Do take care. May your dice roll well, and I'll catch you all in the next video. So bye bye for now.